this witness, and we were warned at the time that we received the document outlining this witness's testimony. We were warned that the credibility of this statement was not known.
Outgoing Republican Representative Ken Buck took aim at House Judiciary Chairman Jim Jordan and House Oversight Chairman James Comer, and also revealed that they knew that their witness, Alexander Smirnov, was pushing a fake story about the Bidens. This is the Biden bribery scheme, which, again, there's no evidence of, and they can't prove it, and their story is completely fallen apart. Now, Ken Buck is, again, he's a Republican, and he went on CNN and told Caitlin Collins that Republicans had known that this source was dubious, and there was no evidence, but because of Comer and Jordan and Chuck Grassley, they decided to just run with it anyway.
And yet, people, my colleagues, went out and talked to the public about how this was credible and how it was damning and how it proved President Biden's, at the time, Vice President Biden's complicity in receiving bribes. It appears to absolutely be false and to really undercut the nature of the charges.
So James Comer and Jim Jordan, they knew that this was not corroborated information, yet they still went public with it, talked about it on television, used it to fuel these investigations regardless?
That's what it appears. I certainly didn't have any evidence outside the statement itself that it was credible.
Oh my God, he admitted!
Now look, there it is. So Ken Buck, by the way, he's on his way out. So probably, one reason why he's saying this, spilling the tea, bucking his party, if you will, because he's not running for re-election. So he's like, yeah, this is nonsense. This is ridiculous. Finally, someone gets to say it, okay? Because if I was running for re-election, I wouldn't be able to say it. So let's be fair, because Republican voters, they really want that pound of flesh, okay? At least the more hardcore primary voters. So now, Comer and Jordan's clown car obviously has crashed and burned, okay? It's very, very clear. Their main witness, Alexander Smirnov, was indicted by the Department of Justice for lying to the FBI and has admitted to law enforcement that top Russian intelligence officials were involved in fabricating the allegations against Joe and Hunter Biden. So, yeah, again, there it is. And yet, even after this comes out, Comer and Jordan are undeterred. On Wednesday, Jordan insisted to reporters like Mana Raju that Smirnov's indictment, quote, doesn't change the fundamental facts. The fundamental facts that came from Russian intelligence that they made up. Not only that, but they also dragged James Biden to a closed-door interview, who unsurprisingly told them that the president had never had any involvement or any direct or indirect financial interest in his business ventures, and that's because that's the truth. No reason for him to lie, okay? Which, by the way, led a Fox host, Jessica Tarlov, to say this about Comer and Jordan.
I don't know why Jim Comer and Jim Jordan thought that perhaps it was going to be Joe Biden's brother that brought him down. But this is the path that they've chosen to take. And honestly, I'm surprised that they have this high of a threshold for humiliation. Every witness that they have called has decimated their arguments, from Devin Archer to Peter Schwerin to Marvin Young. It's so embarrassing. I think Jamie Raskin was spot on when he said that this impeachment inquiry really ended yesterday when we found out that we have a Russian asset that was foundational to this impeachment inquiry. And Jim Comer and Jim Jordan should maybe try doing something for their constituents and let this go, because it's going nowhere.
That'll be the day. Now, look, I don't want to kink shame, okay? But there are some people that are into public humiliation, and I mean, look, I'm not saying anything. I'm just putting it out there, all right? Because Jim Jordan and James Comer have done nothing but embarrass themselves over and over again, chasing after conspiracy theories to try to get Joe. It's this weird Joe derangement syndrome. But look, a lot of it has to do with, of course, how, look, they wanted to impeach Biden. They wanted to do it from day one in order to get revenge against the Democrats for impeaching Donald Trump twice. And so they already knew that they were going to impeach him for something. And so they have spent their entire time now in control of the House trying to find something to impeach him with. They already know that they already made up their minds that there's a crime, right? Now they're just fishing for it. And apparently this one came up to be an old boot and or a tire, okay? And nothing. But getting back to this Alexander Smirnov, right? So, look, Republicans, again, knew that there was Russian involvement, right? That they're interested in putting out fake stories. Yeah. And so what I keep wondering, though, is that were these Republicans just stupid? Were they just easily duped by propaganda because they wanted something, anything, to charge the Bidens with, to go forward with their impeachment? Or the other question is, are they complicit